I'm very honored to be the moderator for this evening. This evening, we are going to learn from our expert speakers whom we have invited after much consideration. How we wanted to do this program came about because of requests from certain individuals. Now, today, the challenges which parents face are quite different from what our grandparents or parents used to be confronted with. Today, it's very different. Just recently, someone passed me this book, Becoming the Parent You Want to Be. And she said, I looked through the book and I wanted to throw it away because when I'm confronted with challenges from my children, I can't refer to the book. So can you do a program where we can at least, share among parents, among teachers, among adults dealing with children, ideas on how we can overcome this. Now, there's no perfect parent in this world. And we can be even psychologists or even professionals in dealing with children. And yet, when confronted with challenges from our own children, it is not easy. So today, we have an expert panel of speakers. And there are 4 speakers. So I'll be introducing them one by one. But what I would like to say is, if you could stay with us till to the end, you will find that there are many things that we can all learn together here. So we have 4 speakers. The first speaker, he is a psychiatrist by profession, Dr. Sabbitan. The second speaker is, we have with us here is Sister Dr. Anasuya. She's a psychologist. And the third, we are followed by the third speaker, Sister Dr. Tan. And also, last but not least, our speaker, Brother Mohanarajan. So I'm so glad that we are able to get them all together here today online with us to share. Yeah. So firstly, what I'd like to say is I also like to thank our MC. She so kindly agreed to be our MC. She's a trained psychotherapist and is currently working as a psychologist in a professional outfit. She is also, she graduated with a degree in psychology with first-class honors. And she also won the top award, so in her university. So it is really great that Sister Uma could be our MC here today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for this evening. He is Dr. Sabbitan Balakrishnan. I knew him a few years ago when he conducted some programs. And I thought this young man has so much to share, and he is a senior psychiatrist in his where he's working, the hospital where he's working. He's also a certified meditation therapist and also our national meditation coordinator. So I learned a lot of him from him during the meditation programs. And so we are going to learn from him the challenges which many parents today face. One of the main challenges these days compared to the time when our grandparents had so many children is the difference is internet and internet addiction, perhaps also devices which many people had to use during the MCO. During the pandemic, parents had no choice. A lot of lessons were carried out online. And after that, some parents found that it was very difficult to wean the children away from such devices. So many parents, although the device is great, but there are also challenges. So we would like to hear from Dr. Sabbitan what he has encountered during his work and his counseling that he did. Over to you, brother Dr. Sabbitan.
Are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Uh, would you
Okay.
like to have full screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Saya, my humble pranams to the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Thank you everyone for making time and just being here today. It's wonderful just looking at the number of participants, 54 participants. I think more are to come, and that's wonderful to know that many people are interested on how to parent, and I guess it's a very challenging thing. I used to have a senior psychiatrist, a child and adolescent psychiatrist, who used to say when children are born, they're not born with a manual. So it's very difficult relatively to be able to navigate, especially pertaining childhood related issues. And especially we already as adults, we have our own childhood issues which we have not solved yet. And now there's your children's issues which are quite a challenge. And especially without guidance, it gets really tough and difficult for us to navigate through. So I really hope that you're able to take at least something from this presentation. When Sister Doreen approached me about this topic of internet addiction, it really struck me because this is something I see every single day. And the amount of research that is coming up from this studies regarding internet addiction has been increasing tremendously. A recent study by our MCMC, Malaysian Multimedia Commission, has come up with a clear statistic saying that 1 out of 3 young adolescents in Malaysia have internet addiction. 1 out of 3. We're talking about 30%. So if you have 3 adolescents at home, be quite sure that at least one of them have internet addiction. It's just that maybe we don't know about this. So the good thing is, at the end of the slide, at the end of the presentation, we will go through a checklist. And as parents, you should be able to, just tick the boxes and see if you have children, or even if you are having internet addiction yourself. So now let's move on. So now there are many types of internet addiction. So I don't need to define internet addiction for you because I think we are all well aware of what an addiction is. Addiction means, in lay term, the sense of being addicted to something, the fact that you're unable to resist the temptation to continue doing it. And even if you want to do so, there's a form of compulsion which forces you to do so. And it becomes a kind of tendency of the mind. And the more we do it, the more we get into a loop of just being in this repetitive, unproductive habit. So now there are many types of internet addiction, but we just look at the main 5 types. The first is cybersexual, or this is where it's concerning pornography. I think this is something where we rarely look at. We tend to just skip this and assume that our children don't look at this, but it is very, very, very common. Next is compulsion related issues such as online gambling, shopping, stock trading. Nowadays, you see there are many games, online games, which are they market it as if it's an adventure game, but somehow or other they incorporate the essence of gambling into it, where you need to gamble a certain amount of or trade in some items, and then you get some money, and this sense of trading in keeps them in a loop of addiction with that particular game itself. Then we move on to cyber relationship. This is where you notice that some of our children are very preoccupied with social media, online dating, and virtual communication. There are lots and lots and lots of avenues for children or adolescents nowadays to express their love or sexual desires on the internet itself. And this can be done through mainstream social media such as Facebook. You have Facebook dating. You have even through Twitter. Twitter is not safe at all. You have Instagram. So all of these social media avenues provide a platform for young children to actually get themselves involved in cyber relationships. We're not saying relationships are completely bad, but what we're saying is that it needs to be very supervised. And if supervision is not done, then there's a very high possibility that this could turn into an internet addiction. And then the most common one, online game playing. And sometimes people, even adolescents, don't grow out of it. I have a lot of patients who are adults who are addicted to the internet through online game playing. And it is a sense of coping where people, most of us are also cope by playing games either through our PS4 or through online game playing. But well, how do we distinguish or discern between a healthy game playing and an unhealthy one? So we will go through that later. And finally, information or web surfing. So sometimes we just like to we love to go online and just start, finding for things, Googling, before you come to the doctor, you already know your diagnosis. You already have 10 things in your pocket and you just spit it out to the doctor. I think it's this, I think it's that, I think it's this. So that's web surfing. And what we come to understand from all this kind of addiction or this kind of tendencies is that this eventually leads to anxiety, leads to depression, leads to different types of mental illness. And sometimes we also have issues, or we see children with pseudo ADHD appearing, as if they have autism, as if they have ADHD. And that is only because of the social media and internet addiction. And that's a very sad scene to see. And this has already, it is currently a major issue, especially in Malaysia. Now, moving forward, how do you know, how do you detect or find out if your child has internet addiction? The first symptom you look at is preoccupation with the internet. He or she spends a lot of time thinking about the internet when even they're not online. Having dinner, they're always thinking of grabbing their phone or just wanting to talk about something about their friends, and the content of their conversation is always about the net. It's about some games or some relationship or anything at all. Next, loss of control. So this is a very important symptom that difficult to identify, but it usually is identified towards the end or when it starts to become very difficult to handle. So the ability of losing control is they are unable to stop internet use. So even though they try to do so, what happens is that they're unable to do so. They have made efforts, they have tried to stop, but they can't stop. And they don't feel that it is something wrong to keep on going, especially when it comes to surfing the net, because we don't have clear rules to say that, after a certain amount of time, it becomes a crime to surf on the net, So you can go on surfing the net 24 hours a day and nobody actually will try to stop you, according to our laws. And the other thing is that they can also have physical symptoms as well. So physical symptoms can include carpal tunnel syndrome, dry eyes. Usually they present with dry eyes, migraines, backache, because they are always in a position or posture which is unhealthy, or perhaps you can say not ergonomic enough. So then they develop these hunchbacks and also just very bad backaches and also migraine. That's because, prolonged contact with blue screen emitted from your devices. Next, loss of interest in other activity, because you're so occupied with this one activity, which is social media or internet addiction, you lose the tendency of being involved in other important activities like having family dinners or participating in family activities or even visiting your uncle or going out to take the dog for a walk. So simple activities which used to be fun for your child is no longer fun anymore. And it appears as if they have completely lost interest of that. Next, we're moving to risky behavior. Sometimes they can engage themselves in very harmful or risky behaviors, especially when it involves pornographic material or surfing the dark web, for instance, and especially when it crosses the boundary violation where they start to involve themselves in cyberbullying, online gambling, or as I mentioned just now, viewing inappropriate content, which include pornographic material. So this can be a very difficult issue or challenging issue for us as parents to handle. And there are no easy way to go about this. But once you identify it, then there are certain things that you can do. And I think Professor Anasuya, who comes next, she will be focusing on management, on how you can, as parents, identify early. And once you've identified, what can you do about this? Simple steps that you can take at home. And then finally, lying about internet usage. So even though you monitor your child's internet use, sometimes it's just extremely difficult to know how much time they actually spend on the net. So all of these symptoms are there for a reason. In my opinion, they are there as a sign, there as a clue, there for a reason, so that it gives you a hunch about how your child is doing right now. And if you know that these are issues that your child is facing, then, or even if you are facing, then you should start taking measures to distance yourself from the internet. And there are ways how you can do that. You can either completely stop internet, which is of course difficult and it's almost impossible in our day-to-day life, in our current era. But slow and steady detachment, or slow and steady letting go of certain activities, or having some time frames where you use the internet can really make a difference. And some of my patients' parents ask me why the social media is so addictive. And the answer is very amazing. You'll be shocked to hear this. So social media companies, okay, multi-billion-dollar industry, social media companies, they employ psychologists to go through every single aspect of their application to make sure that there is a reward system going on in those social media application, so your child and you get hooked on it. And they literally pay psychologists to do that, to play with your mind, to tamper with your innate capacities. So you kind of lose control because you are not aware of this. And there are many documentaries which are out, and even CEOs from social media or internet companies, social media companies have quit their job as CEOs, have resigned, because once they realize what is happening, and some CEOs even prohibit their own children to participate or download that particular application. So this is a very serious issue, and what I'm trying to say is I don't want to downplay this. I just want to ensure that this is getting across to you as how I intend to. So now the moment of truth, right? So how can we identify if we are having internet addiction? So here are a few check boxes, okay, that I would like you to maybe start ticking as we go through this. So the first statement, I think about being online almost consistently. If I'm not online, I'm thinking about the next time I can be, or the last time that I was. So it means to say that you're always thinking about being online, either for playing the game or posting a media content or whatever it can be, but just online, okay? The next criteria is I need to be online longer and longer each time before I feel satisfied. The third criteria is I have tried to control, reduce, or stop my internet use, but haven't been able to do so successfully. I think most of us will check this box because we all have tried. Many have succeeded, but I think there are an equal number who have not, who are still struggling with this as well. And that is why we are here to provide you with avenues or provide you with ways how you can appraise this better or navigate through this addiction and come out of it. Next, I feel irritable or depressed when I try to reduce the amount of time I am on the internet or when I can't get online. So this is something common that we experience, especially when there's no Wi-Fi in a restaurant or there's no Wi-Fi in a hotel that you've paid a lot of money to stay at. The next criteria, the way I use the internet has threatened a relationship with someone I care about, my job or my schoolwork. So you notice that, the whole family will be sitting in a restaurant having dinner, and 3 out of the 5 family members will be on their phone. And it's like a norm, nowadays it's like a norm, and they don't think that something's wrong with that. And it feels like as if it's right for us to just stare at the screen for long hours when there are people sitting around us. Next, I lose track of time when I'm online. And this is quite common. I think a lot of Grab drivers also go through this, and even working people as well. Next, I sometimes lie to important people in my life about the amount of time I spend or the type of activities I participate on the internet. So we are the judge of our conscious decisions that we make on the net. There are no people, there's no one to actually monitor what you do online, but it is very important for us to be really conscious about the amount of time you spend. If you lie to people, it is as if you are lying to yourself, right? So, and finally, being online helps me to forget about my problems or improve my mood when I'm feeling sad, anxious, and lonely. So the moment you play your game, you forget about your work, you forget about everything, and then you focus on playing the game, and then eventually it maybe transiently helps you to improve your mood by forgetting about your current problem. But be assured that all of these symptoms, if you have checked the majority of them, you are probably having an issue with internet. I would not say that we can diagnose you with a disorder, but you most likely have an issue with online addiction, internet addiction. And then there are ways how we can work towards distancing ourselves from the internet. So with that, I think I've spent almost 18 minutes trying to get my points across, trying to give you this message that internet addiction is a major issue. I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here to just tell you the truth. Detect it early, take the necessary actions, and implement them as fast as possible. Don't wait till this issue leads to anxiety, leads to depression, leads to autism, leads to ADHD, and then the entire situation of your life will be very different. So with this, I will end my presentation. Thank you so much, and I really express my heartfelt gratitude to Sister Doreen and the team for inviting me to share a bit about internet addiction. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sabbitan. I think today I learned quite a bit. It's not just a simple matter of, wanting to always be online, but imagine 1 out of 3 being addicted. It's quite a high figure, So, I can see also among friends and relatives that this is becoming an issue. So this is why I wanted to organize this particular program. Thank you. Now, our next speaker is someone whom I've known for quite some time. I know her and her family, and I'm so proud of her that she has become a professor. Yeah. And she is currently the dean of the Faculty of Psychology with University of Cyberjaya. And she has conducted a lot of programs, both professionally and also for us for us at our various centers. And I'm so glad that she's able to take her time from her busy schedule to be with us today. So, could we have the slide of Dr. Anasuya, Sister Susila?
I'm already sharing.
I can't share because she's sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Ah.
okay. So, over to you, Dr. Anasuya.
Hi, Saram. Okay, so I'm a counselor. I see clients. I do a lot of things. And, Brother Sabbitan said very nicely that he's not here to scare you. I'm here to scare you. I'm genuinely here to scare you because I'm scared. I'm scared because I know what happens online. I've seen what happens on the dark web. And I know that parents don't seem to understand that what happens online is not your child's fault. There are predators online. There are people online with very evil intention. People who can trick adults. And somehow or another, we think that our children are old enough to understand. They are not. So I'm actually going to, Brother Sabbitan said some really very good things, and I totally agree with a lot of things he said, except for the not to scare you part, because I'm going to scare you. So it's not easy, and that's why it's scary. It's really not easy. Now, go to the next page. Okay. This is the mental health scenario 2023, which recently came out. And it's why this is important. Because suicide rates are going up. Now, this is a Sai organization, I'm not sure many of you know, but we have had Sai devotee children, my younger brother, who committed suicide. I take suicide very seriously. I have programs to try to stop suicide. And I have programs where normal people can get involved in helping to stop suicide. I mean, somehow or another, I'm dealing with the Buddhist Vihara. I've not done it with the Sai organization because nobody invited. The Buddhist Vihara did, so I've done it with the Buddhist Vihara twice already. Okay? But those are like full day programs. Okay? So let's look at what's happening. And no, it's not nice numbers. This is 2019 to 2020. That's 1,000 increase in suicide attempts among young people. But there is good. The family environment is still playing a big role in Malaysia. Social media is not that bad yet. It is still moderately positive. But we need to keep it that way. We need to ensure that it's that way for our children, and that's where our roles come in. One of the biggest problems I have seen, and one of the biggest problems I've seen with parents and their children, is that you're using social media like babysitters. You're using social media instead of parenting the child. Because if I pass them the social media, they're quiet. I don't have to tell them, I don't have to be the bad guy and tell them, be quiet. You have to behave yourselves. Because you know why? I'm their friend. This Swami has said, loving softly, sweetly, lovingly. He never once said that parents are friends of their children. Your children have thousands of friends. Your children have one or two, or in some cases, maybe four, depending on the situation, parents. You cannot, you should not degrade that role to a friend. There's a safety in parenting, there's a responsibility in parenting, there's a beauty in parenting, and there's a need in parenting that children need structure. But the structure must come with love. The structure must come with certainty. The structure should not come with yelling and scolding. And unfortunately, that's where the way it's gone. So I'm going to be talking about these type of things. And it's, like I said, it is a bit scary. Okay, so parents on social media, one thing, I'm going to ask all of you. You need to have an age-based response. Children under the age of 14 should not have mobile phones, computers, laptops, or tablets in their bedrooms after bedtime. If the child's bedtime is 9 o'clock, all their social media should be in the hall, should be in the place where the parents can see. Why? Because if it's in the bedroom, I guarantee you, your bedtime has no meaning. They don't have, oh, but teacher, their phone number, on social media, they have the alarm clock on the phone. So that's why they need the social media on the phone. Get a normal alarm clock. That's not their social media. The old-fashioned alarm clock, ring, ring, ring. That probably wake them up even louder. That's even louder, better to wake them up with. Why do we not want children to have access? Because it gives access to outsiders. One of the weirdest things I have seen, and I remember seeing when I was a kid, that is like 20 years ago, before we had social media. I distinctively remember a documentary on TV, very old documentary on TV I was watching with a pedophile. And that pedophile was asked this question by the interviewer. What is your paradise? What is your paradise world? You know what the answer was? The paradise world answer of a pedophile was where I have access to children in their bedrooms at night. I'm going to repeat. Where I have access to children in their bedrooms at night. Why? Because when children are in their bedrooms at night, the children feel safe. The children feel they are in a safe environment. They don't have the mental capacity to realize, especially under 14, to realize that it is only safe because of parental rules, because of the boundaries. So they open those boundaries and they let things in. So what are those outside negative influences? Not just pedophilia, a few other things. The first one is school bullies. And I've seen this too many times. School bullies want to text people at midnight. They text people, throughout the day. So when the social media, when the phone is in the room, the school bullies follow the children into the room. So please stop that. Do not allow that in your house. If their bedtime is 9 o'clock, probably at 8 o'clock, the social media should be on the table. All of it stopped. Okay? The second one is TikTok videos and movies. Constant watching of TikToks, constant watching of movies, constant watching of videos. It creates a false impression of everything. TikTok world, YouTube world, it's not real. No, none of them are real. But children believe. Adults believe. Forget children. Adults believe that this portrayal of the world is real. It's not. Social influences don't give you reality. And the more we understand that, the easier it is for us to be able to tell people, no, you can't watch TikTok that much. Parents need to know this. So how do you stop? You look at the videos. You look at, how they spend time on their app. You own the app. Make sure you know how to manage their time on the app and say, okay, look, you've spent this much of time on TikTok. You need to reduce it. Okay. And this one sounds a bit weird, but actually it's a very big one. Friends needing help. I've had too many young people, 13-year-olds, 12 years old, come and tell me that they have a depressed friend who always calls them. And the depressed friend is calling them at midnight, after midnight. As a parent, oh, my child is helping others. Your child is not capable of helping others when they need to sleep. You are not capable of helping others at all times of the day. Please make sure your child's limit their access by other children who may need help to your children, because your children think they're helping. But what's going to happen is you're going to get two children with mental health issues. Instead of one child, you're going to get two children with mental health issues. Your child and their child. Because they can't sleep, they can't think, they don't have the skills to manage helping somebody with a serious mental health issue. And then they need to know when to give it to professionals, how to give it to professionals. So those are conversations you need to have with your child in order to overcome those issues. And the last one, of course, I mentioned this before, is pedophilia. Pedophilia is not funny, it's not small, it's huge, it's big. And people don't talk about it because, oh my God, how do I talk about it? I have to talk about it. As soon as we're talking about safety of our children, I would not be doing my duty if I didn't talk about it. Because I want you all to see this. This is recently what I got for when I went for a meeting with government officials, police, and different people. Estimated age of victims per quantity of child sexual abuse imagery found 11 to 13-year-old were the largest number. Please look at this. Largest number. Now, when it comes to child sexual abuse, this is posted by the children, posted by an adult, posted by a third party. We don't consider that. The law of this country considers any picture of a child makes it child sexual abuse. The child cannot be considered a perpetrator. The child is always the victim because of grooming. If you understand grooming, you'll understand why your child is always the victim. He's always the one who's been targeted, who's been manipulated. So we have to understand that even if the child has posted the picture, they posted the picture because they were forced. How were they forced? They were groomed. Grooming is not done with a gun to your head. It's done very gently. It's done very manipulatively. It is done with high levels of manipulation and bending of the mind and all kinds of nonsense. So please, I beg you, understand this. Don't get angry with the child if they've posted. You can get angry, not at the child, but at the people who've done this to your child, at the people who've abused your child, because they have done that. And you need to then bring your child in, protect them from this, okay? Because to show you, look at this 11 to 13-year-old, 48%. That's why we need to protect our children. Gender of the victim. Girls, of course, is the most, but you do have boys. You do have both, okay? And the severity is, A is the highest, 55% is not the most severe, so thank God. But please understand, now you've got content by siblings as well. So all of it has to be monitored. You can't let it go. You can't let those cameras into the children's rooms unsupervised. You can't let, the younger they are, the more supervision is required if you're allowing the internet. Because the internet allows access to your child once you're sleeping. Okay, so these are the numbers, particularly in Malaysia. Okay, it doesn't look like big numbers until you take into account that this is only 10% of what is caught. What is estimated, and it's a very conservative estimate, that only 10% is caught. So if you're talking 60, you're talking 600. If you're talking 86, you're talking 860. Quite frankly, for me, one is too many. I mean, this one I've seen, it breaks my heart. One is too many, much too many, okay? So what do we do? Please be aware of any pictures your family posts online. Sometimes we think that we are posting on Facebook, we are posting to our friends. Why do you need to post certain pictures? You don't. Post pictures on social media such as Facebook, YouTube, even WhatsApp. Please be careful. You post one WhatsApp picture, some people think it's cute. You can't control them from then sharing the picture on their Facebook. All right. So be very careful of how you post pictures, and keep in mind that once you post pictures on a social media platform, copyright of those pictures is shared with that platform. Not 100% taken by the platform, but definitely shared with the platform. Hackers can and will steal those pictures. Okay. So do not post pictures of children under the age of 12 alone. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I did this from Richard Huckle. Richard Huckle was the pedophile caught in Malaysia. From him, we actually have very good internet security laws, where if you are caught posting pictures of kids, producing pictures of kids, sharing pictures of kids, asking children to watch, explicit stuff, you can go to jail, 100%. And it is actually compulsory for anybody working with children to make a police report when you have these type of things. Okay, when you see these type of things. So when that happened, I actually got a friend of mine in America to go online. I wanted to see what this dark web was. I'm not going to recommend anybody do this. It's really dangerous. What I did was I did it very, very, very carefully. I asked a friend in America. He was sitting in his car behind McDonald's or Starbucks. I don't know. He got online from there. He had a throwaway laptop. He was going to throw that laptop away. He accessed the web. He had a camera above, which I was watching on the camera. So that's how I saw the dark web. And we just looked at one video, and I'm going to show you a representation of what I saw on that site, which is why it's so dangerous. And this is what I learned from that site. One, do not post pictures of children under the age of 12 alone. Always have your kids in groups. Better still, always have your parents in the group with them, because that reduces the chance of that child's picture being taken and used wrongly. Okay? Do not post pictures. Do not ever. I don't see why you need to post pictures of sexy children in swimwear. Why? What's the point? Okay, children. I mean, I know your children can dance very well, and they are beautifully dancers. And sometimes for dancing, they're wearing like ballerina costumes, and very nice. Post the group picture of the children through the official websites that are supposed to post, or don't post. Even better. And when you post it, don't post the school's name, because you just told them where your child goes to school. So those are certain things you try to avoid doing as well. Okay, let the media house, if your child is famous, if you have got official functions where the media is there, let the media house share the pictures and use the pictures shared in the media house, because when you try to image search back those pictures, it won't go to your personal page and tell where your child lives. So these are things that you can actually do to protect your children if you have very cute, good-looking kids, because guess who people target? Cute, good-looking kids. So yeah, I mean, protect your kids. All right. I'm going to show you now. Those of y'all who know my brother, this is going to be a little bit of a not nice thing for you to see. Oh, it's a nice thing. These are nice pictures. But this is what I saw on the web. Very nice pictures of kids alone. You want to show me? I'm going to show you something which you normally don't see inside organizations. I'm going to put a warning. If you don't want to see it, close your eyes. How to very easily, without doing anything, I'm just going to add words, turn this into sexual content. All right? Just this. That's all I did. I added words. And this now, from very innocent, becomes explicit. You got to understand the mind of sick people. This is what they're doing online with your pictures that you are randomly posting on the internet. Please stop. We don't need The world does not need to see how cute your kids are. Your family and your friends only need to do it. Don't share it on Facebook. You can share in your WhatsApp group, and have very strict rules in your WhatsApp not to share online. Okay? Please, I beg you. This is not something you want to see with your child. All right. So what is grooming? I'm going to talk very quickly about grooming. It's a global conspiracy. It is. It is one of the biggest, most dangerous global conspiracies out there. Do not blame your child. Your child is up against mafia. Your child is up against, hunters online who are experts. Okay, groomers, it is a psychological process. It's a step-by-step process. They understand how to undermine your child's sense of self, how to control you. I'm not sure where the sound is coming from, but somebody needs to mute. How does it happen? Most of our kids are good kids. Our children, groomers will come and tell, Ayo, I'm alone. I need help. He understands. Okay, somebody, can you mute the? Okay, thank you. All right. So the child comes and is told all these things, and and she is bullied because sometimes the groomers are female. They have no friends. They can't make friends. And your child, very good Sai devotee, very helpful, very loving, wants to help the person who's in pain. And they take advantage of that. So one of the things you need to teach your child is, yes, we need to be helpful, but no adult needs the help of somebody under the age of 12. Seriously, no adult needs the help of somebody under the age of 14. When we teach children about helping, we teach children that the people who need your help should be about your age. Very, very old adults don't really need your help. If they need your help, they may be looking for something else, not help. So these are some of the ways, to advance our discussion with children. Gradual introduction of sexual references. They don't start bad. They never start bad. They always start sounding very nice. It becomes very, very slowly, it becomes very wrong, right? Sharing of a special relationship. They give money, they give treats. They don't give chocolates. They give handphones. They give time on the internet. They send things on the internet like time for them to talk on the internet. They send access to videos, all these type of things. So the money, you have to monitor what happens on your internet. Normalizing assault, everybody does it. Threatens extreme action. They escalate the action. I'm sorry, my voice is a bit bad because I've been a bit sick. They sorry, yeah. They escalate the action as it goes on. So please, please, please don't blame your child if your child has been involved. Understand, be kind, be loving, be supportive, and understand that they are the victim, because the adults doing it, they are the evil ones, not your kid. They are the terrible ones, not your kid. They are the ones who should be in jail, not your kids. They are the ones who should be punished, not your kids. Your kids need to be protected. That's it. Okay? I hope, I hope none of y'all ever need this information. But if it does happen, I hope y'all hear this. So what can I do? Talk to your children. Do not yell. Do not scold. Explain. Talk to them. Speak lovingly and kindly. Brothers, Sabbitan mentioned just now, family dinners have died. I had one family and they said, teacher, auntie, we have family dinners, but every time we have family dinners, they scold and scold and scold. They bring up everything we did wrong that day. It's, we cannot open our mouth also. We cannot even eat because we're not listening when we eat. That's not family dinner. That's family torture. When you're having a family dinner, there should be a rule. No criticizing, no scolding. That's for a different time. Okay? When something happens, you criticize, you scold 5 minutes, and then you stop. Don't keep repeating it. Family dinner should be about, okay, what happened today? Is everybody okay? Let's talk about something that's not internet. Let's talk about something interesting. So bring up something interesting. If you don't know anything interesting, you need to get off the net and find something interesting to talk about. All right? They need to know the dangers. They need to feel safe for you to speak to them. So they need to feel safe to speak to you. And, so once one of the Bhavika teachers told me, why talk to Baba about coffee powder when you're talking to God? And I thought about it, and so she said, talk about important things to Baba. But here's the thing: if I can't talk to Baba about coffee powder, if I can't talk to Baba about my daily issues, how can I talk to Baba about something that's important? So if your child can't talk to you about things that are not important, how can they talk to you about things that are important? If they're talking about, the game that they're playing and you've heard it 5 times, never mind, let them hear 6 times, because they're talking to you. If they can talk to you about nonsense, then when it comes to the correct time, they can talk to you about what is important. If that is one of the most important things. Be age appropriate. Younger need more boundaries. Older need less boundaries. And that's one of the things. So as you grow up, you have more freedom. You need to learn safety. You need to learn about how to check your internet, how to check your internet usage at home, how to put in net nannies, how to protect your family. There are a lot of, you can actually limit children's screen time. You can have protection on the phone. You can have stop them from downloading certain apps. All of this can be done. Your child may hate you. So what? They're your child. You're the adult. You have to protect them, so protect them. Reasonable consequences, not blanket punishment. Consequences are reasonable. Consequences are consistent. Consequences are not done in anger. They are planned earlier. All right? Get help for yourself. Now, many parents don't do this. It's very important. For yourself, get help. There are many in the SAI organization. There are many people in other organizations who offer support. Know where you can get support. Ask for support. Join. We do it in our professional lives. There are a lot of, sometimes they're free activities, sometimes they're paid for activities where people can also learn and help. You need to join. And the last one, I really want to say, it does take a community to build a family. Act as a community. One of my personal, as a counselor, what I've seen over the years, the idea of the nuclear family, mother, father, 2 children, or 4 children, is a very bad idea. We need that support system to help children. We need that support system to bring up children, to act as a community. And as a Sai community, as the Sai family, we have to be that consistent family for our kids. So, it's not just one it's not just you, your wife, your children against the world. It's us, and then you have your community. You can pull people together. You have people you can count on. So let's build a community where our children are safe, not just during Balvikas, not just during SSE, but every day of their lives. So I hope that helps, and thank you very much. That's my phone number if you all need it. And that's me with Baba when I was a kid, and me with Baba when I was a child. So I just thought I'd share that. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Anasu, for your sharing, which is so enlightening. Can y'all? Yeah? Okay. At this juncture, I would like to request everyone video and we take a proceed to our next speaker. Could we get everyone ready to on video and we take a group photo together now? Okay.
Right.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we
Bye.
come to the next part of our program. So, is someone whom I admire because she's young and she's so capable. Our speaker is right now in Kuala Kedah. She is a dental officer by profession, and she's attached to our Kuala Kedah Center. Also, a volunteer with our online e-classes, our program. She will explain to you more. And from a very young age, she's involved with our Kuala Kedah Center. And so she's going to share in Mandarin, but her slides will be in English. So to you, Dr.
大家好，你们能看到我的 slide 吗？
可以。
可以吗
Can.
？OK。大家好，我是 Sister Tan，我来自吉打港口。今天呢，其实呢，我想和大家啦一起探讨呢，有关于父母与孩子之间的关系啦。所以，我还没有开始之前呢，我让你们想一想，你们认为呢，哪种关系呢是最好的呢？其实呢，在这种父母与孩子的关系呢，我个人认为啦，其实最理想的关系呢，就是建立在就是我们讲的亲密啊、尊重和理解的基础上，就是我们所说的，就是好像合作性关系啊，就是合作伙伴关系啊。为什么我们要这么说呢？因为呢，其实呢，在这种关系中呢，父母呢，他不只是孩子的领导者，他还是孩子们的导师、支持者和朋友啊。就是这样的父母呢，当他倾听孩子的意见，尊重他们的感受，然后他们会以理性的方式去解决问题就在这种关系中呢，孩子呢，他们就会感觉到他们好像自己会被理解就是这种时候呢，孩子那么他们会更加愿意与父母分享他们的想法和感受。其实呢，这是呢，有发生在我自己的家庭里啦。所以我还记得呢，其实呢，在我的成长过程中呢，其实我的父母呢，他们给我了很充分的尊重还有理解和包容我的父母呢，他们呢，不会因为我还小就一直说命令我或者是控制我，而是我的父母他们就会好像一起坐下来跟我讨论问题就是分析这些情况然后一起呢去解决这些问题。所以呢，无论遇到什么问题啦，到今天啦，无论遇到什么问题呢我都会第一时间就会去告诉我的父母啦，尤其是就跟他们一起商量，尤其是我的父亲啦各位赛信徒们呢，我讲了这么多啦，你们一定会想知道我们到底要如何与孩子呢维持这个紧密的关系。 OK，来，我先一下我的 next slide，现在有一些技术的问题啊。OK，让我们呢从最简单的方式来开始了。首先呢，我想啊，在这些线上的父母们呢，你们在10秒内啊，你们想一想，你们孩子2个优点和缺点啊。因为其实呢，有些父母呢，他是倾向于呢放大孩子的缺点哦，往往呢他忽略了孩子们的优点。其实呢，实际上呢，其实孩子呢，他们许多的特质其实是有两面性的。这些呢，就取决于你父母啊，你从哪个角度来看待啊。同时呢，我们也是要意识到啦，其实我们每一个人呢都有自己的缺点，就包括我们成年人在内，对吧？所以呢，因此呢，身为父母呢，我们应该采用这些我们讲的科学的方法啊，要去纠正孩子的错误。比如说，跟他们进行一些理性的交流，跟他们分析这些问题的严重性。不止这样呢，其实呢，父母呢，在与孩子沟通的过程中呢，我们应该要让孩子明白啊，其实每个人都有自己的优点，值得学习的地方，对吗？然后呢，每一个人呢，遇到错误就要勇于承认，其实这就是成长的一部分。来，接下来啊，OK。此外呢，我想问问在线上的父母们每当你们跟你们的孩子啊沟通的时候啊，你们是站着高高在上，还是蹲下来与你的孩子进行了眼神对望呢？虽然你觉得这是一个很小很小的举动啊，可是实际上呢，它是有很深远的影响。OK，就比如说你蹲下来与你孩子啊在同一个高度上啊，其实呢你可以消除了身高的差距啊，你可以让孩子感觉到更加的平等和尊重。所以不止这样呢，当你与孩子呢，进行眼神对视的时候呢，其实呢，它可以增强呢，就是我们讲的沟通的有效性啊，还有亲近感。所以你传达出关注、理解还有尊重的态度啊，所以那个孩子呢，他们就会感受到好像被重视，还被听取的信号啦。OK。有些家长呢，他们总爱给自己孩子贴上那个缺点的标签其实呢，这可能会成为他们心理学上所说的就是自我实现的预言明白吗？因此呢，就是他的意思就是说，孩子呢，他就是一直被说成这种某种样子了，到最后他都会相信自己原来是那种样子。就是因为父母呢一直给孩子贴上这些我们讲的缺点的标签所以呢其实呢我们身为父母啦，我们就能的话就要以更多欣赏的眼光去听一下你孩子，倾听孩子诚挚的告诉他们呢孩子呢我为你们感到骄傲就像我们在与孩子交流的时候尤其是在我们要表达，就比如说赞赏他们或者是讨论问题的时候啦，我们要保持开放的态度就会让他们感受到我们的情感的支持。虽然说这是很简单的一句话啦，可是它其实是很能激励孩子的然后会增加他们的自信心，会鼓励他们呢不断的向前这个呢其实让我想到发生在我身边的一个例子啦。其实我有个小学的朋友啦，其实他的成绩呢老实说不怎么好啦可是呢他对那些画画非常的有天意嘛。他的母亲并没有因为他的学业成绩不好而对他的孩子说你这孩子没有用而是他看到他这么厉害画画，就慢慢的栽培他， 到最后他还是成功了这个孩子。OK，其实呢，尤其是在我们亚洲家庭中啊，就是其实是一个我们讲很普遍的现象，就是家长们对孩子的批评啊和打击，就好比如说那个孩子啦，他遇到问题的时候啦，家长们呢有些时候他的第一个反应他不是去安慰他们，而是他去否定。大人们呢，其实呢，似乎总是担心孩子啊会变得骄傲啊。其实呢，他们忽视了可能会导致孩子自卑的后果。OK，一些家长呢，他们呢其实只关注孩子的学习成绩啦，就喜欢常常拿他的孩子跟其他孩子做比较。其实呢，他忽略了培养他孩子他独立思考的能力啊。然后呢，其实呢，有些父母呢，他只要求他孩子听话啊，要孩子听话罢了。其实呢，他们也是忽视了这些孩子的感受。其实这些东西啦，它也是属于我们讲的就是属于冷暴力啊。你看似好像没有什么东西，其实呢，在长期啦，它其实是伤害孩子的。孩子们会感到好像很羞愧啊，很自卑啊，等等啊。而且这些伤害呢，其实是很难消除的啦。它甚至会影响这些孩子呢，到成年过后啊，他与别人的关系啊，或是更极端的情况呢，他可能呢会直接毁了孩子的一生呐。OK，所以这个呢，接下来我要分享的就是这个 Dorothy Law 啦，它就是这一首诗啦。其实这一首诗呢，它向我们描述的这些孩子呢，如何通过生活中的经历和环境来学习和成长的。OK，诗中呢，它所描述的情景呢，让我们意识到成长环境如何造就孩子的性格。就比如说啦，一个孩子啦，他如果他生活在批评中啊，这个孩子呢，他就学会了谦责。就如果孩子呢生活在敌意当中啊，他就会学会争斗哦。那么呢，如果孩子呢他生活在嘲讽中呢，他其实呢他就学会了羞愧啊。那么呢，如果他生活在羞辱中呢，他就学会了愧疚啊。那么呢，假如他生活在包容当中呢，这个孩子呢，他就学会了要怎样去忍耐啊。那么他生活在鼓励中呢，他这个孩子呢就学会了自信。当他生活在赞美中呢，他就学会感恩啊。那么孩子呢，假如他生活在公平中啊，这个孩子呢，他就学会了正义。假如一个孩子呢，他生活在诚实当中啊，所以这个孩子呢，他学会了信实。如果一个孩子呢，他生活呢，他富有安全感这么这个孩子呢，他对他自己呀，还有对其他人特别的有信心啊。所以呢，如果呢，孩子呢，他生活呢充满着好像良善啊，所以这个孩子呢，他就会觉得这个世界是多么的美好的。所以呢，父母们呢，你们想要孩子拥有怎样的品格和素养呢？那么你就必须提供供应的环境。OK，最后一个来 OK，家长们你要问问你自己，你到底有多久没有去抱抱你的孩子呢？陪你家的宝贝聊聊天、说说话了呢？我们都知道啦，现在的父母亲白天都做工，对不对？我们又很少时间陪伴我们的孩子，所以呢，其实呢，晚上呢，睡前呢，其实是建立亲密的亲子关系呢最好的时光。为什么我们这样讲呢？OK，你看睡前的时间呢，其实呢是一个人他的内心最需要温暖和沟通的时候。 这也是呢孩子呢他们的精神状态啊是最稳定的时候了，所以会形成安全感的最佳时间呐、所以呢，假如呢我们家长啊可以利用这个时间啊去陪伴孩子，你抱抱你的孩子，你跟你的孩子聊聊天，你可以说说一些大约10分钟的床边故事也可以这些呢，无论你对你建立亲子关系还是启发孩子多元化智能是非常的有帮助的各位家长们，最后呢，希望你们呢要走进孩子们的世界啦。我们要多了解一下孩子的私欲我们最重要就是要成为孩子的知心朋友。OK，我们要跟孩子一起分享，一起成长。OK，你们看到我这个 slide 对吗？OK，其实呢，这就是萨迪亚赛教育线上的课程这个课程呢，它包括了它的内容有包括了赛爸爸的生平史记赛爸爸的人类5大价值还有其他的圣贤教导等内容所以它的课程呢是每隔2周的星期六就是下午3点45分到下午5点30分它是有分为4个年龄4个组就是从6岁到17岁以内啦。所以大家呢，你们可以通过这个就是这里的 QR code 填写这些表格，或者是你可以联络 Sister Ding 或者是我 Sister Dan 去进行报名。OK，我的分享就到此为止，谢谢，and Sairam。
谢谢 Dr. Tan. Thank you very much. I think we have understood not only there are many dangers around children, but how we can build a loving relationship with them is also very important. So our next speaker is a mechanical engineer by profession. He has a very busy schedule. Despite being based in Indonesia, he actually flew down all the way on Friday just to be with us this evening in Kuala Lumpur. So Brother Mohanarajan is currently the MD Managing Director of ABS Global International. He has a very busy schedule. He's involved in so many programs. At the same time, he's married and a father of 2, and he's also spearheading our national parent care programs, and he is the national coordinator for the online program. So without further ado, over to you, Brother Mohanarajan.
Okay, Sairam everyone, and good evening, and the rest of you, Wan Chang Hao. Okay, let me share before I share my screen, let me just talk about a little bit on what I'm going to do today. Okay, we have heard from Dr. Sabbitan about internet addiction. Okay, Dr. Anasuya talked about online predators, where with internet addiction, then you have opportunity for kids to fall prey to these online predators. Dr. Tan spoke more about, to be a child's best friend, how to encourage the children, and finally she's advocating the SSEH3, which is the Satya Sai Education in Human Values, which exactly talks about the values of love, peace, truth, non-violation, and right conduct. And these are also the same values we also emphasize in parent care as well. Yeah, so the children go to Balvikas, they go to SSEH3, they learn about these 5 values, and when they go home, and parent care also stresses on these same values, so that there is a sync between what the children study and also the parents, or else there will be a disconnect. When children go back and talk about the human values, parents cannot fully understand what are these values about. Yeah, so that's how all this is tied up to what we call as our parent care program. Let me just share a few slides with you, not too many. Just want to show you what the whole program is about and how we actually can benefit from it. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Okay, can you see my full screen? Okay. can see my full screen, yeah? Just to reconfirm, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so a lot of people may ask, what is this parent care? What is parent care about? Yeah, so these are the questions you may have on your mind. What is parent care? What's the history of the program? Okay, how does it benefit me? Okay, what's the program structure? Who are the facilitators? What other parents say? And also, I'm busy, so how much time would I need to spend on this program? So a little bit on the what parent care is about. Okay, actually, parent care is a method where you actually redefine the parenting roles, and then we take you within yourself. We've conducted sessions, numerous sessions previously, especially it used to be face to face, but because of pandemic, COVID struck, and then we started to do parent care online. Yeah, that took off quite well. And it's now it's a 3-week program. So a lot of times when it comes to parenting, yeah, a lot of times the burden is given to the mother. For this parent care, a lot of times families, okay, the wife, you have to attend this parent care. The husbands most times do not feel it's necessary for husband to attend this. Most of the time it's like parenting mother. So it's not fair, because to parent a child, it actually requires both, father and mother to play an active part in parenting. Yeah. So how it began in 2003. Okay. At the time, until now, more than 1,000 parents have participated in Malaysia. Okay. And 2014, we had facilitators who were trained in Thailand. Okay. We had a parent appreciation day in 2013 where more than 100 attended. Okay. And at the moment, we have more than 41 trained facilitators who run sessions throughout the country, mostly in the Klang Valley, but we also have got facilitators in Penang, in Johor, in Malacca, and also East Coast as well. All right. We also had a workshop 2015 in Canberra. And 2019, we actually had the parent care preview was held during the Chinese New Year celebrations in Puttaparthi. Yeah. We had about 45 who joined this preview, mostly from Indonesia and also some from other countries as well. All right, so this is, as you can see, this has already been almost about 20 years, more than 20 years this program has started, okay? And we have it as a workshop style. It's not just we show slides, and it's not just one way, it's a two-way, it's an interactive, where we've got a lot of workshops, we've got role plays, it's very interesting. And it's a two-way communication, because we learn from you and you also take small things. We have tools. We will actually share with you tools how you actually can use these simple tools to actually improve your parenting skills. But actually, I look at it after going through parent care as a participant about 7 years back. I look at the tools from parent care as a life skill. It's not just to be a good parent, but the tools that I picked up from parent care, I use it in my career to advance my career path, use it with my family, my siblings, and use it to actually improve myself as a better human being. Yeah, so these are things that we have actually learned. And the foundation has to be strong, as I mentioned. Both parents have to take responsibility, not always push that parenting to the mother, which is not so right, because mothers also nowadays are working. You can't allow them to take the brunt of the burden. Yeah. And it's actually an inside-out approach. It's as I mentioned, it's interactive, and we do role plays where we put yourself back as when you were a child, how you reacted when you were a child, your parents, and you get to see. And most importantly, you need to know that every child is different. A lot of times parents compare, oh, my first child is so good in academic, while my second child is not that good in academic, is more better in sports, it's games, is more in the arts. So there's that thing where we will actually show you how you cannot actually compare every child, although they have the same parents, same genetic definition, but still it's not exactly the same. And you need to be more subtle. Nowadays parents, you can't when we were young, our parents could just talk down to us, they could use the cane, but nowadays kids, you can't do that anymore. So what it all boils down to is you got to change yourself from the parent, change yourself, and then only you can actually tell the children to change. Because a lot of times, like from experience, phones, addiction on mobile phones, A lot of times parents say, my children are using too much time on the phone. But then if you look at it, 8 out of 10 cases, it's actually the parent themselves are on their mobile phone and the children actually are copying what they're doing. So when the parent have that awareness to change and to reduce their screen time, automatically the children also reduce their screen time. So it's as simple as that. A lot of times we need to correct ourselves first, and then only we can actually show and actually have that impact on our children. All right, so we talk about 5 domains in parent care. On the physical domain, where you look at the physical side of it, and those of you who understand a bit of Sanskrit, it's more looked at as the Annamaya Kosha, and the value is right action. On the energy domain, where you talk about Pranamaya Kosha, the value is love. On the mental domain, it's Manomaya Kosha, value of peace. Intellect, on the intellect side, look at Vijnanamaya Kosha, the value is truth. And finally, on the bliss domain, it's Anandamaya Kosha, and the value here is non-violation. Right. So basically, a recap of parent care is actually 6 modules, but now we have compressed into 3 weeks, where we look at the different sheets. It's actually like, from going layer by layer, taking you in from the outermost sheet, through your energy, through the mind, and the layer of the intellect, and finally to your bliss domain. It's like peeling an onion. And a lot of people say, I've got these questions before, can we do parent care in 1 week? So in one session? It's actually, you can't, because it's like peeling an onion. You need to go layer by layer, and then you can actually get to your bliss domain, where it is the total of non-violation of all the other values. Right? So do join us. I'll share the contact. So this is the online parent care session, where we have got my contact at the bottom here. And these are things like a lot of questions parents ask: why aren't my parents parenting methods effective on my children? It's different time, different age. You cannot use the same method when we were a child. Okay, how do I deal with my demands on my time and energy? What do I need to be an effective parent? My child is always in the internet. What should I do? How do I make my children listen to me? So children nowadays don't listen. So a lot of times people say, like example, putting the laundry in the laundry basket, the used clothes. They will tell the children, I've told you 1,000 times, put your clothes in the basket. Yeah. And do you think the 1,001 time they're going to tell the same thing? The child's going to do it? They are not going to do it. So there's another way to approach children. You cannot use the same methods we use when we were children. Yeah, we have to use a different approach. And most of the time, parents are struggling with this, and it's common. And when we have these workshops in a session and parents actually feel that, oh, I'm not the only one having these problems, and another participant is having similar problems. So I'm not alone. They don't have that guilt, and they're able to be at peace with themselves and realize that they're not doing anything different from other parents. They're also facing similar challenges. Yeah. So those of you who are interested, join us for this 3-week parenting program. It's about 3 hours per week, consecutive 3 weeks, and you'll see wonderful changes in yourselves, your children. We used to have, like, on the final week of parent care, when we used to do it face to face, we will ask the children to come and be to give testimony about their parents. And then most of the children say, no, my parents have been going for this session every week, and I find my parents have improved. They are so much more loving. They don't nag at me anymore. Our bond is stronger. They understand me. So the children themselves give testimonies about how their parents have transformed over the journey. So that's really very beautiful program. I do encourage you to join, and you will be amazed at the changes and the transformation that you will see. All right. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you so much for joining us today, and Sarah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I can really relate with what you said just now about, I told you 1,000 times. Many parents go through that, So I think many questions that parents have can be answered when they attend this parent care program. So thank you very much to all our speakers. But before we go further, I would just like to ask any of the parents or teachers or anyone online here, if you have any questions, please do on your video, on your mic, and ask a question. You can show, or you can type into the chat room, and we will try to answer your questions. Now we will start accepting questions, and I'll speak. If you want to direct it to any particular speaker, please let us know. So anyone would like to ask a question? Any questions from the audience?
I'm Sister Doreen. I would like to ask Brother Mohan a question on the parenting course. When you say the course is for 3 weeks, is it continuously 3 weeks, or is it we can have a break?
Yeah, Sister Saram, yeah. So it's actually done consecutive because it's like I mentioned, it's peeling an onion. It's a process. We'll always try to do it consequently in 3 weeks, or else if we have 1 week break, normally we ask on the first week, we give you some a little bit of homework to do. So you try it out that week. On week 2, you come and tell us, share how it went, you know. So it's like a continuous 3-week system. Yeah, that's most effective. If you break in between, you lose the momentum. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Welcome, Sarah.
Next question.
Sir, I'm sorry. Just now, Brother Mohana said was 3 weeks every day for 2 weeks, or is it every Saturday or every Sunday once?
Yeah, once a week, or normally it's on the weekends. That's when most parents are free. It's either on Saturday or Sunday afternoons, or could be in the morning. Once a week, 3 sessions. It means 3 consecutive Saturdays or 3 consecutive Sundays. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Brother Mohana, Mailing here. I have a questions for you. And minimum, how many couples need to be in, parents need to be in to, for you to conduct the class? There's one question. So if let's say the father don't want to come in, only the mother, will you allow it? And yeah, thank you.
Sister Billing from Rawang, is it?
Yes. Well,
okay. Yeah, actually, there's no restriction. It can be the father or the mother to join, but of course, we do encourage couples. Why couples is because as you go along this parenting journey, as couples, when you attend together, at any time when you falter, at least the wife can remind you, or vice versa. That's why we encourage couples. But if not, due to constraints, either one can attend. Yeah. And normally we have it's not like a mass kind of class. We don't want to have so many because we normally restrict about 15 per session, because that's when you have sharing, and that's when they have a very effective bond between the participants. So not too big. If we have more than, like previously we had about 30, so we've split into 2 different sessions. We don't want to put them all lumped into one class. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will accept one last question. Anyone? One last question.
Yeah, Doreen, James here. Just a question. I have a far relative daughter, already I think 30 plus. I don't know whether it's spoiled or not. Every day we hide inside the room and internet with friends in America, and all that. Hardly help the mother. The mother can be nagging, but she won't help. She only work part-time. And whenever she work, it's normally for short-term only. After that, she'll resign. Some pressure or some responsibility, she will resign. So what to do with a daughter like that? She has a very good life, But then even how the mother try to get her out of that, but she always internet.
Brother, can I, Sister Doreen, I'll come in a little bit. You're talking now about young adults who have got no motivation to work. Parents are paying for everything. Parents are doing everything. And why are parents doing everything? Why are parents paying for everything? How old before you give them some responsibility and some consequences of their action? Protecting someone does not mean stopping the natural consequences of their action. if the teenager or if the young person, they're over 21, they're over 22, they're over 23, if they're not working, then what are the parents paying for? I had a young man. His parents he had stopped work. His parents had sent him overseas to study. He had stopped work. He had stopped overseas. He had come back home because it was too hard to be overseas to study, because nobody was washing for him. Nobody was cleaning for him. Nobody was cleaning his room. Nobody was making sure he did his homework. I mean, parenting is about raising adults, not raising adult children. And yeah, sometimes you have individuals who keep their room dirty, but they know how to do everything else. Sometimes you've got individuals who are not good at one thing, but they can do everything else. So it's not about children can do everything, but they can do most things to be independent. And James, the parent of these children do not want an independent child. They want a child they can control. That is also part of parenting. When we want to control, we don't allow independence. But our parents brought us up independent, and independent means that certain things we have to do ourselves. So I don't know why, but in the last generation, in the generation after us, we have been coddling, and we have been doing too much for children, and maybe it's time for that to stop. So that mother must be a little bit hard. Love can be with discipline, with boundaries, and say the boundary is, okay, look, you want to come home and eat, you eat what's on the table. You want extra, there's no more extra money. There's no more extra this. There's no
Love
more
with
extra
laws.
that.
The love with law, very important.
Yeah, love with law, correct. So that's why it is,
Yeah.
James.
Yes. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Yeah, it's something called tough love. Sometimes you have to be tough, yeah, as the children are growing up, yeah, for them to become independent, and able to do things for themselves and not depend on parents all the time. Now, I would also like at this juncture to introduce, we have another program which is for children. It's called Online Rose. Rose, R-O-S-E. It means reaching out to society through English. So we do have a program where once a week, children come in for about an hour online, and not only they learn to improve their English, but also they will learn human values along the way. And this program actually started during the first year of when we had the pandemic, the MCO. So now we are already in our 4th year, and many children and parents have been following us for over the last 4 years. They start from age 4 and up to 11. We also have classes for 12-year-olds. And so far, many parents have got good testimonies about the improvement in the behavior of their children, the attitude of the children, and also, of course, their English. So we are very glad that we have this program. Now, when there is a next intake, we will inform you. You can take note of my number here in this brochure here. And anyone who has any more questions or want more information, you can always WhatsApp me, yeah? So, okay, we come to this part of the program where I would like to also thank all the speakers and everyone involved so far. But before that, I would like to hand you back to the MC. Over to you, Uma.
Okay, thank you, Sister Doreen. Let's welcome Dr. Malarvelli Segarmurthy, the National Mahila Coordinator of SSI to deliver her closing address. Over to you, Sister Malar.
Ram, Sister Uma, thank you. To the elders and the parents, as well as the experts who have spoken today, I think it's done great justice to the session itself, and I think we are all chosen by Swami to hear this. I'm sure every one of us would have had some message that we were looking for questions to. So, messages and answers comes in different ways. So thank all the experts who have shared here today, Dr. Sabbitan, Professor Anasuya, Dr. Tan, and Brother Mohana. It's a very wonderful session. While listening to it, even I myself have got many things to be grateful to, because I always believe that parenting is a spiritual journey by itself. And I don't know how many of you agree with me. Parenting is in a greater perspective. Parenting is actually a part of our spiritual sadhanas. You see, God has put in the children in our lives to make us learn some lessons. Sometimes we always think that, I've got such a difficult child. Actually, it's not you getting a difficult child. It's God giving you a room to understand where we can improve and become a better person. So that's how much God loves you. So if you think God has put challenges in your path, it's only to make us all better. I congratulate the entire organizing committee for initiating this session. It's amazing. And I think this should be something that's done in a greater scale and more periodical. I'm sure the experts have more to share. And along the way, we'll pick up more and more messages that's meant for us. God has put us in his journey. He'll find his way to give us his messages. And today, there's so many beautiful messages. We are out there actually to prepare our children, prepare their resilience to be out there in this world where, it's a very vulnerable situation that they're going out there. We've learned about the how vulnerable the internet can be, how addiction can be, something that's right under our nose, but we can't pick it up. And later on, we'll feel bad. How come we didn't know this? My child lives with me, practically lives with me, but I did not pick this up. So these are all very timely messages. And I think there's a lot of ways to accept that we may not be perfect parents, because there are no perfect parents, but we all can become a better parent from time to time. And this is one way to bring us closer to becoming a better parent every day. So once again, congratulations, and I hope to see more and more people participating in such programs and benefiting. Thank you, and great job to the SCA Selangor and Mahila Sairam.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Dr. Malavili. So, next, it's time for photography session. So kindly request everyone to turn on your video. All right, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, captured. Thank you so much, everyone. Next would be the closing prayer. Samastaloka Shukino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Shukino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Shukino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With that, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
everyone.
everyone, for joining today's satsang. Have a good rest. Bye.